Hello guys, welcome back to Pause and welcome back to World Discovery. This is part 15. I'm Adam here and welcome to today's episode. So, before we get started, if this is something you enjoy and you want to enjoy this video, as always, don't forget to give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of the content. Fancy a chat, jump onto Twitter or Discord, links are down below, and if you fancy helping us out, you can check out the Patreon link in the description as well. So, on to today's episode. We are back in France, and we are continuing on with our French area. Now this is going to be a little bit different than what I first anticipated we would be doing in the next episode. So first of all, I'll touch on very quickly a few of the comments from last time, and then I'll explain what we're doing. A massive thank you to everybody for all your feedback from the last episode, and I think thanks to everybody's input, we are going to keep the Eiffel Tower that we put in. Everyone sort of agrees that the scaling is pretty perfect, so we are going to keep that. So thank you ever so much to everybody who did comment to help me out with that. So that brings me on to the big thanks to Slogfunk, who was the person who actually made that Eiffel Tower structure. So a massive thank you to you for putting that up on the workshop. And I'll also put a link down below in the description to the page so you can check it out and actually use it in your parks if you like. So massive thank you to Slogfunk. And then the other idea which I wanted to do, which is the reason why I had to do something else in this episode, was actually a suggestion by Benjamin Peter Foster. And he said, why don't you use the new hyper jump ride inside the tower? And now, at first I was like, would it work? And then looking at it, I think that would work really well. If there's even a little square opening in the tower itself where the ride could go through. If the clearance is there, I don't know. And that's what we were going to do in today's episode, is have a play around with that and see if we could actually get that, that new ride in the middle of the tower. Obviously, the Magnificent Ride collection has been delayed for a couple of days while they sort out an issue with the chairlift, the Skies ride that they've put in. So that's not something we can try today. But I love the suggestion, and I am going to at least give it a go and see if we can fit that ride inside the tower. It's a relatively small footprint ride, so I think it will fit, even if we sink it down to the ground a little bit. But we'll have a go, and that's something, like I said, was planned to be this episode, but obviously we had to change things up due to the pack being delayed. So instead, what I've decided to do is build a new building to sort of finish off our little French street, which we are going for down this left-hand side. And this building is going to be the quick service kiosk for the baguettes. I'm not even going to try and butcher the name of the brand in the game, but you'll see the signs in a bit. But you know what I mean, it's the baguette shop that was added with Ward Fair. So that's what we put in here. It's a relatively big building for just one quick service kiosk, but I think it turns out quite nice. Utilising this sort of a different approach to this corner here, which is not something I've really ever done before. And this is actually where we put the kiosk, on this central sort of column bit. There's a few bits of detailing still I need to do on this, but I think it turns out quite nice. And also I do quickly want to apologise, it is a slightly shorter video today, again just due to limitations on time, so apologies for that. But as soon as the pack's released, we'll get back into France and have a go with the rides. But honestly, massive thank you to everybody who has been suggesting stuff for this build. And please keep them coming in. I love your guys' suggestions, and I honestly do take as many on board as possible. So yeah, please keep them coming in. So in terms of this ride, inspiration for this building, inspiration for this one, really a couple of things. There's a couple of buildings within the France Pavilion in Epcot which I've taken inspiration from for the roof. The outer sort of styling of the building, we've kind of taken inspiration from the Ratatouille ride in Epcot, and you'll see from some of the neon signage we put in a little while as well, to kind of not links to, but like I say, it's inspired by I can't remember the name of him, the restaurant that's in Ratatouille. There's a massive sort of circular sign, neon sign with like little stars on it, and that's the inspiration we've taken from the front of this, very loosely. Like I say, you'll see later on. when we actually put in the signage. But yeah, it's a tedious link, but it's something that I took inspiration from. I tried a few different things with this building. So that's the main thing I'm trying to do with this park, is push myself to improve my builds. A few people have mentioned that the last building is a bit generic European and it's not really French. So like I say, I will take that on board. I still need to go back and finish that other building and decide what we're going to put in. A lot of people have agreed and think a restaurant would suit quite well. So I think that's what we're going to go for. So I will go back in probably in the next one, finish off that building and maybe add a few more details. I think the main thing someone said is that the sort of lower level should be a bit more detailed, and then the higher up the building you go, it kind of becomes a bit more sparse with detail. So that's something we'll have a look at next time. The other thing we do, which I will show you in a live portion at the end of this video today, we actually put another building between these two, very, very small little back street. All it has is a little toilet area. So I didn't actually put that into the time lapse, but you will see it towards the end today. So all in all, it comes together quite nicely. All the little finishing touches. What I did have to do, and you'll see in a few minutes, is bodge this a little bit. Because I used a 2-wall wide for this central part of the building, fitting in a shop was quite tricky. So I had to sort of bodge it, which you'll see in a few moments. Kind of used some chimneys to simulate wall, and I think it works okay. I mean, you'll see. Let me know what you think. And this is the brand I was talking about. Like I said, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but this is the Baguette brand, and this is that neon sign I was talking about, which I personally think it looks a bit like the restaurant from the Ratatouille ride and films, and that's why I say where I've taken the inspiration from. Put a little support at the back. Again, I just like to put those little touches of realism in there. It's only minor things, but I quite like it. And yeah, this is the bit you'll see now. I faff around trying to close this building in. And I say in the end we just use these chimneys, and they kind of work, and I think I can get away with it, I think. But there's not much more you can do. We don't have like half walls. Well, we do, but I mean in terms of the width, we don't have any. At least not yet. So you've got to do what you can. And it was the same way I had to fill in the roof pieces. I don't know if you saw that at the start of the footage, because I've got the curved roofs on one side of the building. I had to use a few of the art shapes just to fill in the gaps there as well. So there's a few little custom bits on this, nowhere near as much as some people do in this game, but I've done a few little bits. I'm still learning for the buildings, but we get in there, I think. So a few bits of signage in, a few little bits of detail, and then another thing which I didn't actually record was a full lighting pass of the area. Loads of street lamps, lights on the buildings, that kind of thing. Again, I will show you towards the end of the video in the live portion. But I didn't actually record the footage, so it wasn't much, so you're not missing out. These windows here, again, quite plain on the side, and I do, I admit that. We do swap these windows out in a minute for the same ones on the other building with the shutters, and also the ones across the top are the billboard windows. Some of those we change for the unlit versions, again just to add that little bit of detail. So when you're looking at the building in the dark, not everything is as uniform as it perhaps would be. Again, just slight little bits of sort of touches like that, just to think about it really, and just those little bits matter, or at least I think so. A few little edging pieces, like I say, nothing much. I could really do going back and adding a few more details, especially to the side bits, but like I say, that's something we'll probably do next time. So as I say, swap these windows out. I just think these look a little bit better and it suits the area a little bit more. And then we put a little bit of sort of pathing around, and then a few tiny bits of planting, and that's the last thing we pretty much do in the time lapse. So we are coming to the end of the time lapse footage. Like I said, there's a couple of minutes at the end where I'll show you a few bits that we did off camera, and I'll just show you in sort of real time. So I think it does turn out quite well. This area, it's coming together. It's how I envisioned it initially, and I think once we've got this ride in there, get this restaurant in, I do think this area will come together quite well. It's not, like I said last time, it's not going to be massive. It's near enough the size it's going to be. So yeah, there's not that much more left. Anyway, like I said, this is sort of coming to the end of the time-lapse footage now. So let's go through the area in a bit of sort of real time, and I'll show you what I've done off camera. Okay, so I've done a little bit of work off camera, so I thought we'd have a little look around in real time around the area, just to sort of have a look at a little bit more detail. So the building itself that we've been working on today is pretty much complete. It might need a few more details across the side, but I think I'm all in all pretty happy with it. I like the way it's got this nice front here, and like I said in the last episode, using the baguette stall somewhere, and I think it works quite well. So off camera, all I've done is added a little bit of a toilet area up this passageway here, a few more little benches and planting and things like that, and then a small fence just to break up between the staff area and the actual park area itself. The only other thing that I've done, pardon me, off camera is actually do a bit of lighting. So if we stick it into evening, I can show you around the area now. So we've added a few more of these lampposts and actually put fans on them. Like I said, that's the thread that runs through each area. We put a little bit of lighting up on the first building we did last time. Lit up the new building today, which I think looks quite nice. I like the neon up here. Inspiration from that one from Ratatouille ride, actually, Disneyland Paris. And then a few bits of lighting around the trees around the Eiffel Tower area. So all in all, I think it's come together quite well. Like I said, sorry, again, it's been a bit of a shorter episode today, but until the pack is released, I can't really do much with this. But as soon as Magnificent Ride is out, we will get cracking with hopefully the ride in here. But we will see. I mean, it's even got this little opening, so I think it's, fingers crossed, it'll work quite well. But we'll see, and like I said, we'll do that in hopefully the next episode. But anyway, guys, that's going to do us for today. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, don't forget to give us a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Fancy a chat, jump on to Twitter or Discord, links are in the description. And if you fancy helping out the channel, head over to our Patreon page, where you can pledge some small amounts to help us out each month. But for now, guys, thank you ever so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. Bye.